What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love After Lockup Season 5, Episode 2, Street Lies and PIs. So this episode was okay. It was so-so. It wasn't that bad. We're going to start off with Asante and Ranika. So last week we saw Asante being released from prison. He had incurred another infraction while he was still behind bars, and so he had another criminal charge pending that they were holding him for, and he had to be bonded out for that. So even though Ranika swore up and down that she was not going to spend any of her money to bail out Asante, she ended up spending some of her money to bail out Asante, and the other portion came from another female who Asante claimed was just his aunt, but the woman told Ranika directly when Ranika called her where they're making arrangements for this money to bail out Asante. The woman told her straight up that she was Asante's girlfriend. But like I said before, Ranika didn't want to get too much into it because she just wanted to enjoy her man with this first night out. So she didn't want to go too hot and heavy into the, who's this other woman? Who is she to you? Why are you lying to me? So she just wanted to enjoy her man. So enjoy each other. They did. So that night they did what it do. Okay, you know how it is when these people come out of prison. The first thing that they want to do with their significant others. And according to Ranika, it was all that and then some. She said they went on for like 3 to 4 hours. Okay, I thought he would have been like one and done. Because he's been gone for so long. Just one and done, and he would have been knocked out for the rest of the night. But he had the energy. So the next morning she wakes up and there was no Asante. Oh, by the way, in the middle of the night, we saw the surveillance camera, the security camera of the home that she was staying in, where Asante was leaving the house and meeting up with somebody that had driven up to the house to pick him up. So the next morning, Asante is gone. He is not there. So she wakes up, there's no Asante. All she can hear is, the echo of the house. So this is around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, no Asante. 5:30 p.m., no Asante. 7 o'clock at night, still he is not back home. And not only that, but she hasn't even heard from him. 8 o'clock p.m., no Asante, hasn't heard from him. She's calling his phone, cursing him out, leaving all kinds of messages, cursing this man out from dusk till dawn, calling him every name in the book on these voicemail messages. He has not responded. So around 8 o'clock at night, she's talking to her friend Ray, the one that told her that she herself had dealt with someone in prison and was trying to warn Ranika, don't do it, girl, because these felons, all they're going to do is just use you up and spit you out. So of course Ranika didn't want to listen to that. So she calls her friend Ray, talking about, girl, I don't know what happened to my man. He was here with me last night, woke up this morning, he is gone. I have not seen him at all day. Haven't even heard from him. He's not responding to any of my calls, any of my text messages. So her friend is telling her, girl, I told you this is how it is when you date these ex-felons. So then the friend tells her, but don't worry, I got you, because I know of a private investigator who's going to help you get to the bottom of all of this. So she's on her way to see the PI. This is the next day. She's on her way to see the private investigator. On the way there, she calls her daughters. Her daughters ask her, how are things going between you and Asante? She tells her children, girl, I don't know. So her daughters tell her, mommy, we want you to come home, which is what she should have been doing, because already you're out here chasing this man around. You are stressed out over this man. You're going to go see a private investigator to figure out where your man is at. Like, yeah, you need to rearrange your priorities, Ranika, and just forget about this and go back home to your kids. But nope, sounds too much like right. So she arrives at the meeting location. She meets up with her friend Ray before the private investigator shows up. Her and Ray are having a conversation about Asante and this other woman. So Ranika and this other woman, they've been texting each other back and forth. So she shows her friend all of these text messages, and the friend the messages show that this other woman who Asante calls his auntie, but the woman herself has said she is his girlfriend. So she's been telling Ranika through text that I'm his girlfriend and we've been together for 2 years. I guess, I don't know if they talked about how much money they've been giving Asante while he was incarcerated, because Ranika and Ray were laughing at this woman, calling her stupid because she had given so much money to Asante when he was in prison, just to have him come out of prison and spend the night with Ranika. So they were calling her dumb. They're like, yeah, she's doing all this for him, waiting on him to come out, spending all this money on him. And the first night out, he's with me. She's dumb. She's stupid. Okay, but you're the one chasing him down, trying to hire a private investigator to figure out where he's at. Okay, so the private investigator shows up, and they're talking about like who could this woman be, and the private investigator does whatever he does and says, well, okay, this is who she is. He got a name, but they bleeped out the name on the show. He got the woman's name, found out that she is Asante's 44-year-old girlfriend, and then they tell the private investigator, they tell him to go ahead and call this woman directly. So he dials the number to this other woman, and that's where the episode ended, or that's where their segment ended. It sounded like Asante had picked up the phone when when the private investigator called this other woman, but we'll find out who it was in next week's episode. But yeah, Ranika, go home to your kids. Go home to your kids, girl, please. This ain't it. The first night, okay, he comes out. Next day, he's gone. He sneaks out in the middle of the night. That is bold. That is absolute. I will not chase someone who sneaks out in the middle of the night. Evidently, they don't want to be with me. Didn't even have the common decency to leave me a note, send me a text. Yo, I'm going to be hanging out with so-and-so. Just want to let you know, just giving you a heads up in case you wake up and I'm not there. Nope, I'm not chasing nobody down that wants to sneak out in the middle of the night behind my back and doesn't even have the decency to tell me where they're going or what they're doing or what's going on. Nope. He would have come back to an empty home, a locked door, and we would never talk again after that. Moving on to Andy and Brittany. So Andy is our prior police officer, met Brittany through a pen pal, I think some type of pen pal website. So they go pick up Brittany. It's Andy, his 17-year-old son, and Brittany's 18-year-old daughter, Gracie. So they pick up Brittany. This was in last week's episode. Now they've arrived at the hotel that they're going to be staying in before they go on to the town, I guess, where Andy lives and where Brittany's going to be living with Andy. So they're at the hotel, and as soon as they get to the hotel, Brittany wants to jump in the pool. She wants to jump in the pool with Andy. Okay, so they do that. Fine, whatever. So then after that, she's in the room. She's trying to get ready because we're supposed to be going to her son's birthday party. And as she's trying to get ready, her daughter comes into the room and tells Andy that she wants to talk to her mom alone. So Andy leaves them alone, and he even tries to get the camera crew out. You're not the director here, Andy. I hate it when people on reality TV who sign up to have their lives documented, who understand what the deal is, what the schedule is. They understand when the crew is going to be there, for how long they're going to be filming, and for them to be like, get out, turn off the camera. No, you're not running this. So he tells the camera crew to leave, whatever, but they came back. And so we hear Gracie and her daughter. They're in the bathroom. It seems like they're arguing. There's like a lot of tension between Gracie and her daughter, right? And I think it's because of the fact that Gracie was just not happy with Andy and his son being there, when she just wanted her mom all to herself because her mom's been gone for 2 years and she just wanted her mom to herself. I think that's what was causing the tension between Gracie and Brittany. But I'm pretty sure Brittany would probably whispered in her ear, well, you got to understand that, he's my meal ticket. This is our come up. So you're just going to have to sit tight and let me go ahead and do this with him. So they talk it out. And Brittany reassures her daughter, hey, you're my number one. You're everything to me. We've been through so much together. I'm not going to desert you for no man. I'm always going to be there for you, etc., etc. So she talks her daughter off the ledge, and her daughter starts to feel, okay again. By the way, when they got to the hotel, Andy had presented all of his gifts to Brittany, which was the cell phone, the clothes, the jewelry, and he also had like $500 stuffed in a teddy bear. He tells her it was supposed to be $1,200, but my bank account got hacked and they took my money, so I'm gonna get my money back, and once the bank gives me back my money, I'll give you the other $700. Why couldn't you just keep that to yourself? And plus, I thought, why couldn't you just keep that to yourself and just, she would, it just was like, you're doing too much. So okay, so then after that, they go to the birthday party for Brittany's son, and Andy's under the impression that he will be meeting the rest of her children. So they get to the place, and I think Andy he made the cake. I didn't know the cake was for the birthday party. I thought the cake was just for Brittany to have upon her release. Because it was this, it's the thought that counts, but it was this really ugly lopsided cake. And I thought it was just for Brittany, but she took it to the birthday party. And then I think he had balloons and stuff. I don't know who brought this stuff. I don't know if it was Andy that paid for the birthday stuff or if it was Gracie I don't know. But there was all this birthday stuff that they brought with them. And so she's unloading the car to take to the party. And then she tells Andy, well, you are going to stay out here in the parking lot. And I don't want you to meet my kids right now. So Andy's like, WTF? What? Yeah, that's how she's treating you already. The woman who just got out of prison, is going to make you, the law-abiding citizen, wait in the parking lot for 2 hours while she's having fun with her kids and whatnot inside the building. And you're going to wait out here for 2 hours. And it looked like he did it. I wouldn't have. There's no way in hell I would have done that. Nope. And so Brittany, she was talking about she was, telling us how she's really stressed about moving in with Andy because her hometown, this is all she knows. But she knows that she needs to get away from all of this and get a change of environment because she's trying to do better, get off the drugs, etc. So she knows moving in with Andy is supposed to be good for her. But she really feels very much rooted and comfortable in her familiar surroundings of her hometown. So we'll see how that goes. Moving on to Sheree and Anthony. So Sheree is one of our newer couples that we met this season. She's a human resource manager. Anthony's been in prison. I don't know for how many years. I don't really know for what, but he is on his way out. Okay. So when we see Sheree, she's with her son. She's doing it looked like a TikTok dance with her son, but so they do their little dance, was really cute. And then she tells her son to send it to Anthony, and her son refers to Anthony as Pops. Now her son's father is very much still in his life, but he also has this attachment to Anthony. So Sheree tells us how she's so happy to see how bonded Anthony and her son are, and it makes her feel good when her son refers to him as Pops. By the way, her son's name is Richie. His father's name is Richard. So once again, she rehashes the history between her and Anthony, letting us know that they met when they were 14 years old in high school. And then after that, they broke up, and then they didn't reunite again until they were both about 31 years old. Now they're 34. And remember, she's the one that was going to get married to Anthony a couple of years ago, but because his divorce was not final, which I don't know how this wasn't brought up before they made the wedding arrangements, but because his divorce was not final, their marriage couldn't go through. But she lied to everybody and said that they did get married, and she even is going to present her family with a fake marriage license. So here we are. So where are we at? Okay. So she's talking to her son and telling her son, hey, no matter what, you're always going to be a priority of mine. You're going to be my number one. I'm not going to let anybody come between us, etc., etc. Anthony from prison, he's telling us that he's happy that him and Sheree's son have a good relationship. And he tells us that Richie's father, is in the boy's life, but he says that, he needs to step it up and do more for his son. Because according to Anthony, because Sheree has Anthony in her life, Richard feels like he doesn't have to do as much for his child because I guess he figures, let your inmate, pick up the slack. So Anthony says that he's going to have a man-to-man talk with Richard. I think that's what he said. Did I imagine that? That he was going to confront Richard or something by letting Richard know that he needs to step it up and that, it's not his job to raise his son. Maybe I'm imagining that. Maybe that didn't even happen. I don't know. So moving on. So Sheree's on her way to go pick up her man, Anthony. She is super excited. She has on her hoochie mama clothes. And I'm looking at her and I'm looking at her outfit and I'm like, why do you have to dress like that to pick your man up? If he is attracted to you and he wants you and he wants to be with you, girl, you can come up there in a potato sack and he's gonna still want you just as much. Why are you trying so hard to make him attracted to you? Because she had on the tight, too small tank top, her boobs, no bra, boobs just spilling out everywhere. But she needed a bra. Okay. And look, top heavy women, we need the support 24/7. And then she had on these little short once again, too small, pink shorts. And I'm like, what is going on? Why do you have to try so hard? If he wants you, you don't have to try as hard. If you felt confident enough that he was going to want you and be attracted to you, if you have that kind of confidence, you wouldn't feel the need to dress like that. But hey, look, I don't know what's going on in the world of dating inmates, and maybe that's what the protocol is. I have no idea. So we're waiting for her man to show up. She's telling us that because her son has this really close relationship with Anthony. Sheree's telling us that her son would be absolutely devastated if they were to break up. Her son would be so devastated if her and Anthony were to break up. So the goal is for her and Anthony to stay together forever. She actually said those words. She said that. Moving on to Chelsea and Mikey. Now, Chelsea and Mikey, we've seen them before on the, not this past season of Love During Lockup, but the season before that of Love During Lockup. Chelsea is hearing impaired. Mikey can hear, but he has to hear, he has the assistance of a hearing aid because he's also slowly losing his hearing as well. So what bonded them together was the fact that Mikey took the initiative to learn sign language to communicate with Chelsea because she's 100% deaf. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Now, I remember last on their season of Love During Lockup, there was some type of issue of him getting adequate care in the prison, and I forgot exactly what the issue was. Some people were telling Chelsea that he was lying about his health problems, his medical problems in prison. And some people were telling her that, I don't quite remember. There was something going on with him being in prison and having some type of medical emergency. I think he had a stroke. Yeah, he had a stroke. And Chelsea was just, really torn about the fact that he had a stroke, but the prison really wasn't taking it seriously. I kind of remember that from their season, and I don't remember much else. But anyway, here we are. So Chelsea, she is a hotel housekeeper. She's a single mom of 3 children. And like I said, Mikey, he's also hearing impaired, slightly hearing impaired. He can hear with a hearing aid. And he's going to be paroled, but he's going to be paroled in another state, not the state that Chelsea's in. And I think that Chelsea, is probably hoping that maybe he can change his parole to her state. I don't know if she's going to move to his state. I'm not really sure. So when we see Chelsea, she's telling us about her relationship with her mother. And she says that growing up, her and her mom were not very close. They had like your regular teenage daughter, mom type of issues. And, they fought a lot. They weren't that close. But as she got older into her adulthood, her and her mom became a lot closer. And then she tells us how her and her mom actually became best friends. And then we see some video footage of her and her mom hanging out, having a good time together, really happy with one another. And then she's telling us that, she sees her mom every single day. In fact, she's on her way to go see her mom right now. So I'm waiting for her to arrive at her mother's house. And by the way, her and her dad, they kind of had a falling out because Chelsea is dating a prisoner. An inmate. Her dad's not cool with that, so her dad quit talking to her because of this relationship that she has with Mikey. So we're seeing her getting ready. She's got her bags, she's telling her friend goodbye, and I'm thinking we're going to go to her mother's house because she says, I'm going to go see my mom. Baby, why do we end up at the cemetery? Yes, her mom passed away. So when she said that, my heart just dropped. So her mom had recently passed away, and so she sees her mom now every day at the cemetery, and it just broke my heart, y'all. So then after that, she tells us that after her mom died, Mikey's mom also passed away. Not soon, soon after her mom passed away. And her mom, Mikey's mom, was actually on Chelsea's season of Love During Lockup. And they showed us a clip of one of the episodes with Mikey's mom, because Chelsea went to go visit her. And, it was sad to hear that that lady has also passed away. So it was really sad. So Chelsea tells us because they've both lost their mothers, that also has made them a whole lot closer. So Mikey, when you come out, you better do my girl good, because Chelsea seems really, really, really sweet. I like Chelsea. I really like her, and she seems like the real deal. So Mikey, when you come out, you better not hurt her, or I will definitely find you myself. and set you straight. Moving on to Melissa and Louie. So Melissa, she was also on not last season's Love During Lockup, but the season before that. Melissa's the one, she's from up there, she's from New Jersey, I think. She grew up in New Jersey. Louie grew up in New Jersey, but at some point Louie moved down to the South, ended up getting in trouble. He was a serious drug addict. The addiction led him to commit armed robbery, and he got 10 years. No, sorry, he got 20 years. He was sentenced to 20 years, but they broke it down, 10 years to serve time, 10 years on probation. So he's finished his 10 years. He's on his way out. So Melissa and Louie are Melissa and Louie's mom are on their way to get Louie. Now, Melissa and Louie's mom, they don't get along at all. I think her name is Donna. Melissa and Donna do not get along at all because they're fighting for Louie's affection and for Louie's attention. The mother thinks that Louie should be paroled at her house somewhere in Georgia. Melissa wants Louie paroled in New Jersey. So they're constantly, battling and bickering and arguing and fighting about who Louie should be with, who Louie should choose, etc. It's very childish. It's very stupid. So his release was actually delayed by 30 days because he got in trouble, I think, for Melissa showing up at his work site and for also having a cell phone. I'm not really sure, but his release was delayed by 30 days. Louie's mom, she's a little bit rough around the edges, okay, because she doesn't speak. She just barks. She barks orders. So they go to a hotel to spend the night before they continue on their journey to go get Louie the next day. The next day, they wake up, they're on their way to go see Louie. Louie's mom reflects on how hard it's been for her for the past 10 years without her son. She understands that her son has a very bad addiction to drugs, but she says that she feels lucky that he's still alive, even though he was in prison for so long, that she's very, very lucky that her son is still living. So she thinks that she knows what's best for her son, and Melissa thinks that she knows what's best for Louie. So Melissa tells his mother, like, when Louie comes out, we're gonna have to spend some alone time together. And the mom is like, over my dead body, because when Louie comes out, me and Louie, we're going home. I don't know where you're going or what you're gonna be doing, but when Louie comes out, me and Louie, we're going back home. I'm taking my son home. So they get to the prison. Louie comes out. And now, remember last week's episode when Melissa met up with her sisters before she left for Georgia, they were talking about Louie's teeth and saying that he had no teeth, or only have 5 teeth left because his teeth were falling out from drugs, from meth. So Louie comes out. He wasn't that bad looking at all. He looked like a rougher version of John B., the R&B singer John B., Blue Eyed Soul. So he comes out, and I'm like zeroing in on his mouth to see, does he really have only 5 teeth left? He has a full mouth of teeth. Okay. He does have all of his teeth, or most of them, the majority of them, but you can see that some of them are beginning to rot. So anywho, he comes out. Everybody's happy to see him. Melissa has on her cheerleading outfit because she used to do these cheerleading dances for him on FaceTime. So she showed up in her cheerleading outfit. I know she was freezing because it looked like it was cold. So she has on her cheerleading outfit for Louie, and she had to do her cheerleading dance for him. And the mom, she was practically like throwing up. It sickened her so much. So he comes out, he hugs his mom, hugs Melissa. I mean, it was just a nice reunion. They were both really happy to see him. He was happy to see the both of them. I don't know what else to say. But of course, the mom was like, okay, we're going home, Melissa. We'll drop you off wherever you need to go. But me and my son, we're going home. So that's where that situation ended. So now we have to see. Now, Melissa tells us that Louie is very much a mama's boy, that him and his mom have what does she call it? A codependent relationship. So we'll see if he's going to be able to break away from his mom and be able to start a new life. But honey, if he's paroled at his mom's house, what the hell can you do? The Department of Corrections, they want him, close by. So I don't know if he's going to be able to go to New Jersey. She's probably going to end up moving to Georgia to be closer to him. And that's my little review of Love After Lockup. Not much went on, but it is what it is. It's going to get interesting later, hopefully. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.